Okay, sweet. Everything should be good. All right. Let's see. We got myself. Oh, let me change my name. Here, I'll put my email. Okay. All right, cool. We got myself, Wani, Linda, Dave, Larry, Flav, and Kurt. Excellent day. The usual dim sum crew. All right. All right, let's go to the notes. And welcome to week 32 of 2024. Uh, it's been a wild August. Good times. All right, so we'll look at fun stuff with sentiment data, of course. We got a meeting coming up, and let me do our quick commercial. It is next week, and it is with the famed options guru and godfather and acclaimed author of our mini option, I guess, Bibles. But yes, Lawrence McMillan, and we'll look at option-oriented indicators, including seasonal patterns and what they are saying about the stock market, and as well as performance of the SPX and what option markets are saying, and much, much more. So very exciting. Let me drop this info in the chat for you. And yeah, cool. So hope to see you guys there. Okay. And then, oh, I forgot to grab idiots of the week. Oh, I knew I forgot something. Okay. Maybe we can find one live. Okay, yeah, we'll circle back. That's pretty easy. All right. What else do we have? We'll go over our usual index overview and look at the markets as a whole. We got some interesting stats from CNN in their aggregate fear and greed index. And this week, at least Monday's open, was the lowest number on record since they've built this landing page. And it was like a score of 19, which was pretty crazy. And then we'll also look at the historical data from Jeffrey Hirsch's team with the Stock Traders Almanac, and we'll look at the read and forecast for August as well going forward into September, and it's time to look at November as well, just to plan ahead. And yeah, I think for us, like this 3-month window is really good, and that's why on my four-face toss setup, I look at the bottom left quadrant the most because it's that perfect 90-day window with on-balance volume, and you can see net inflows and outflows. I mean not the inverse sticks here, but if we looked at like super micro, uh, yeah, you'll see the momentum and uh, momentum, leads the way for price action. So yeah, just look at that beautiful correlation. Sell off, sell off, sell off, and price action collapse. Perfect. All right. Okay, getting back to our notes. Yeah, we'll talk November for sure. And then I need to bite the bullet and get stock charts again. Instead, I signed up for Gerald Salente's Trends Journal.
Oh, really? You did?
Yeah. I'm having login problems, so support and I are trying to figure that out. But I did sign up the other day. So yeah, I'm
Wow.
gonna get back to stock charts. Yeah, I've been gobbling up Gerald Salente's latest, like all his videos, so that's been fun. Cool. But yeah, earnings. Definitely want to talk earnings. Lots of landmark releases. So we'll look at Airbnb, which is again great for consumer sentiment. And that's one of our big trading themes of not of the week or the month, but the US middle class consumer is quite a heavy hitting bunch in consuming resources. So we got to talk about that. All right. And then, of course, super micro, like, holy cow, what a disaster. Is it a market top, between, NVIDIA boss, Mr. Jansen signing boobs in early June to this, and then Buffett unloading on all of us. Like, there's a lot of things happening. Cool. And then we
Did
got to
you
talk.
did you buy the dip?
Uh, I went long gold stuff. Like,
No, SMCI. Anyone?
chirp, chirp. No one's convinced. Yeah. Yeah. And then we'll talk drugs for a second and with weight loss stuff. And then I was looking into this. It's a glucagon substitute, which is it's the opposite of the insulin hormone. So it stimulates muscle growth and fat reduction, blah blah blah. So, but it also causes stomach paralysis. Apparently, like that's a major side effect that's been happening.
What
So
the
kind of.
hell is stomach paralysis?
I don't know, but yeah, that's like I've been reading like forums, and a lot of folks are just complaining of that. But yeah, well, we can take a look. We can take a look, Larry. Yeah,
That's okay. We don't need to go down that rabbit hole. There's
yeah,
other stuff.
yeah. Different demographic. We're not quite that. Yeah, we should be talking monkeypox. We'll get there. All right. And of course, we got to look at what the fish are trading, and it's always important to understand your counterparty when you're trading. So we gotta understand the Robinhood crowd, and of course, getting to our general news cycle, we got to look at the economic stuff and the big fish. So um, nuclear war might be closer than ever because now we have, I mean, in logistics, right? It's all about that last mile of delivery. And that's how you deploy nuclear warheads with F-16s. So, yeah. And we know where they are. And all the news articles, like, from an unannounced location. And it's like, hello, it's Romania. like even some random Asian suburban kid knows where all the planes are and airfields are. Like the Russians don't know. Okay. All right. And then we got to talk what's happened with the yen and the Bank of Japan and the latest statements from Governor Uchimata on will not raise rates when markets are unstable. And the Japanese markets have been unstable since the 80s. So like what is there to talk about? But yeah, we'll take a look. And then concurrently during the early phase of the week, we saw Warren Buffett with his massive selling of Apple stock. And not that I know everything about Warren Buffett, but having, sharing the namesake helps. And yeah, his usual deployments, he likes to stagger his stuff, over 8 to 10 weeks when he's unloading. And to sell half immediately, shows pre-knowledge at some level. So do that with what you will, right? And then, adding insult to injury, retail got hosed. And it seems like the only folks who didn't have login issues with the majority of the brokerages were folks who never signed out to begin with. So we should all be smart. Like,
wait a minute. Warren Buffett probably is a big player in the carry trade as well as the options, as well as put options, right?
Mr. Arbitrage, absolutely.
So yeah, he makes the market. Insider knowledge, nothing. He makes the market.
Most likely, yeah.
He is the will of whales. That is not debatable. Yeah, fair point. Fair point. And then for the little guys, we couldn't unload, so a lot of us got burned those handful of hours. And it seems like, again, the best practice is log in before Monday, like log in Sunday night to make sure everything's working.
Right.
And this is like, when was the first outage? Like, it's August. I kind of forgot. Was it February or March? Do you guys remember the first major swab outage this year? Was it in the spring or late spring, something like that? This is the second one for the year. So, yeah. So anyway, yeah, log in advance. And the only folks who didn't go down, like I'm still trying to figure it out, but it seems like it was Tasty and Weeble. Everyone else had problems. And
E-Trade was okay too.
Not according to other users and like who's down and whatnot. It wasn't a widespread outage, but E-Trade was affected.
Oh, okay. I had no problem logging in. Do you think this is deliberate?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I think so too. I absolutely think so.
They have no motivation to put in increased capabilities like the pros do. You think the Wall Street pros went down? Hell no.
Not right.
Correct. And even for swab folks, if you were on the advisor side, you could log in. Retail,
of course.
Right?
Of course.
Of course.
So shouldn't the retail sue the heck out of them for doing this? Shouldn't we be doing something?
Class action, sure, but I mean, that's the point. We're retail. We're tiny and we're fragmented. Like, who's going to organize a class action lawsuit and who has the bucks, right? I mean, deep fucking value, Mr. What's Gil, whatever his name is, Mr. Red Headband should be leading
Oh,
the
the
charge, right?
rolling kitty.
Yeah, whatever his latest moniker
He's not
is.
going to lead the charge. He's one of the insiders, for
Right,
Christ's sake. He's
right.
not retail.
Yeah, I'm just so we don't have a retail hero. I guess SVOG has to lead the way, and I'm not selling enough XPS spreads to finance this just yet. Maybe in the
They
future.
went after Robinhood, though, didn't they? The retail guys went after Robinhood.
They tried, right? And then which hedge fund was behind the first GameStop debacle? And like they never like had to
Citadel.
pay.
Citadel.
Yeah, Citadel and what was the other one? But anyway, yeah, they never had to pay their pound of flesh for all those shenanigans. But yeah, so problems here galore. And then I did some diving into the SEC and FINRA regulations. There are known values for on the network and server side for dedicated bandwidth. Like, so that is a must for brokers. So for a widespread outage like this is collusion. This is cartel-like behavior. And we have a bunch of engineers, right? And what was the method of attack? They just turned off the ports. You couldn't even ping the server. So that's not organic. So yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It's terrible.
Yeah. So again, Tasty Trade, like, did Tom Sosnoff make a deal with the devil? Maybe, but he had uptime. And if you are, living and dying off your retail ops, then you need uptime. And then the other one was Webull, which is a Chinese, a Commie affiliated one. So I'm kind of torn about that. Like, I haven't started, like, I don't have transfers going to them just yet, but yeah, it was Tasty Trade and Webull.
So Tasty Trade they reinvented basically their connection to this whole market. They built their own infrastructure. His whole argument was, I can do this 10 times faster than they're doing it.
Right.
Don't you remember that from like 2016?
Yeah, and his major selling point back then was what, like guaranteed fills within 20 to 50 milliseconds, something like that. I don't
think it was that. I mean, it was a couple of seconds. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, and it really wasn't necessarily guaranteed.
Because Tasty Trade ain't independent anymore.
No.
Osnoff ain't running it anymore. It's run by somebody out of the UK.
He sold it 2 years ago, right? Yeah.
Right.
I didn't know that.
Time they will join the Wall Street crowd and turn off.
Right.
Well, my point was he had his own private connections to the options market and to the stock market.
When he started it, he did it right.
Right. He didn't do it with 30-year-old technology. So I mean, he could definitely go in for like NASDAQ just on the ECNs. I mean, there's nothing controlling him from putting out bids and offers and playing at that level in the order book.
Yeah, and his owner probably does that already.
Yeah, it's all sort of automated. There's no humans involved.
So you guys think after what happened on Monday, a lot of people are migrating to Tasty or some other platform?
Let me show you the Thinkorswim forum.
It says stats for that. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll just show you like the top post for the week from Thinkorswim here.
I mean, Thinkorswim is still the best platform really out there. So I hate to have to move to somebody else, but I also hate what happened on Monday.
Oh, Trade Year is another one. So yeah, Tasty Trade, Trade Year and Webull seems to be resilient, relatively speaking.
Yeah, but remember, Thinkorswim is Schwab, and you can't trust Schwab further than you can throw the Transamerica pyramid.
Right.
You see this? Complaints.
What are people saying?
Complaints. Toss down, login issues, like, just. So these are the top posts for the week. I'm just scrolling down. Just, yeah, crazy. So here's, class action talk right here. Blah, 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 blah. Yeah. no real meat and potatoes. But yeah, so there is a mutiny happening within the ranks. And should we be shorting swap stock? Maybe. There's not a lot of commissions left for them, but we'll see how that goes.
Well,
Let's
they
look
make
at
all their money on the float because they don't pay anything for funds that are sitting idle. They don't
Yeah.
pay you anything
That's right.
anything
That's right. That's right.
sitting idle.
Sorry, Yahoo Finance
And
not playing nice.
their well advertised ETFs have a very high percentage of cash at all times.
Mhm.
Yeah. And yeah, and then so yeah, so the bigs get to unload on into us. They avoid the crash, and then Monday they're buying the dip ahead of us. Yeah, it's nuts. All right, thank you, Warren Buffett. And yeah, he has a lot of cash on hand at the moment, and we'll take a look at that ridiculous
130
bar
billion,
graph.
right?
Something like that. Was it 200 or 100? Yeah, we'll take a look. We'll
No,
take
no,
a
it
look.
used to be 150. I think now it's 230.
Yeah. Just like he has almost $1 for every single American. What's the count? 300 something million Americans, probably 400 with the illegals.
That's in cash.
That's
I don't know what the rest of it's worth.
Yeah. But yes, I'm gonna have to update the Black Swan list. There are a lot of things happening besides Bolivia and Nigeria now. Okay, but yeah,
Bangladesh too.
Bangladesh. Yes, we're going to talk about that. And the minority Hindus. Holy cow, Bangladesh is turning to Pakistan. It is nuts. Okay,
It used to be East Pakistan.
exactly. So it's just insanity. Yeah.
And the riots in UK.
UK, and then France isn't rioting because Linda told me it's the Olympics. I'm like, oh, duh. There's guns everywhere. The French Foreign Legion is working overtime this week. Oh my gosh. And then Taylor Swift is catching strays in Austria. We'll talk about all of that. Okay. Finishing our highlight reel here. So yes, Black Swans, Theaters of Wars to update, and then pivoting to currency news. We'll look at the latest semi-roadshow with Morgan Stanley, and then we'll take a look at the latest from Mt. Gox. Looks like this is the real diamond hands here. Holy cow. Denied for 10 years and continuing to wait for more gains. Yeah, the real diamond hands. All right. And then we have the Euro stable coin, which is gathering steam, and that's not good for anybody. So we'll take a look at that. And oh, I gotta change this domestic image because we now dislike Southwest for being a general asshole. But yeah, and then we'll take a look at the latest political updates and compare the predicted numbers against the current week. So we have our trusty screenshots here saved. And we don't have to dive too deeply into the new VP pick, but what's his name? How do you pronounce it? The governor? Walsh? Yeah. He's catching all kinds of stray bullets, right? Stolen valor, like just insane, like wild stuff. But yeah. And then Tulsi Gabbard is being stalked to death with air marshals on every flight. She has like half a dozen, guys in F11, like 511 pants, following her everywhere, which is kind of interesting. Cool. And then we'll look at some other fun stuff. Not only Disney, but CNN is looking rather worthless at the moment. So we'll take a look at that. Monster came out with earnings, and I don't think our crowd would even buy a Monster if we had to buy an energy drink. So this is a clearly different demographic. This is more of a, I think this has higher overlap with Red Bull and like the street punk, skateboarder crowd, X Games type stuff. But yeah, we'll take a look at that. And again, that's along our continued theme of understanding the US consumer. Cool. And then Scott Ritter was raided. This guy has been, he's a former, I think, Marine intelligence officer. and he was one of the chief inspectors saying that Iraq did not have weapons of mass destruction. And holy cow, his life was decimated over that. And he posted a selfie with RFK, and then the FBI raided his home the next day. Yeah, I think we can read between the lines here. Okay.
So he was taken off an airplane a couple weeks ago. He was trying to leave the country for business type reasons.
Yeah, he's been effed with big time. And we all know how this ends, right? The three-letter alphabet agencies suddenly plant CP content on your devices and you disappear into the gulag. So we kind of know how this story ends. Like, this is horrific. So yeah.
They already got him for that. Just
exactly. But he was half dead and survived. So now they're gonna finish the job. Okay. To more optimistic news, we'll talk about credit card debt. Okay. And then we'll look at more consumer sentiment data, especially with Disney park attendance and issues there. And since we're wrapping up into back of school season, this is rather important to get a pulse of that side of the market. And I thought this was kind of an interesting little article on the shitty parts of working remotely. And yeah. Cool.
Going back to Disney, my daughter reminded me that it wasn't that long ago when admission to Disneyland was $20.
And
Wow.
they had
Really?
e-ticket rides too.
Disneyland admission prices. Is there a chart?
What, 200,
We love
150?
Yeah, somewhere in that range now.
Yeah.
Can we see a chart? Disneyland ticket prices through the years. All right. Harbor Avenue. Is it Harbor Boulevard or Harbor Avenue? I think it's Boulevard. Why is this not loading? Oh, here we
You
go.
can only gouge for so long.
All right, 1955, $1.
$1? Oh my God.
We'll start there. Oh God. All right, 2057. Wait, $20 is within living memory, huh? So this is before 1995. Okay.
Yeah, I think those are inflated prices. She's probably talking about the discounts you get as a local.
Oh, okay. And then there's like the 3-day package or something. So
Yes.
it
So there's $20.
yeah. So early 2000s, you're about $20. Yeah. And then what is it now? Let's look at pre-COVID. So 2019, 129 for a 1-day pass. Oh yeah. And then what is it now?
150?
I have no. Oh,
I'm guessing.
What is Disneyland prices?
Well, retail price is about 200 for a single day. I think it's down to about.
If you walk up to the gate today, right?
Yeah. And discount price, I believe, was near 170 if you buy or 140 if you bought like a 3-day pass. I just saw this recently. I didn't pay that much attention though.
Oh, so there is a local rate. Oh, okay, no kidding. Okay. So yeah, here you are, guys. Pick your poison. And if you have a family of 4, and wow, that gets expensive quickly.
They have to give the locals a discount because they're always trying to expand and take over streets and parking lots and anything that's nearby.
Yeah.
And it all has to be voted on.
Yeah, actually, it says that 3 days, $100 a day. That's less than I thought.
Yeah. All right. So much for Disneyland being the former happiest place on earth. And speaking of happy, we got to talk FedEx and UPS. The parcel game is not happy. So we'll talk that for a second. And more San Francisco drama. XS officially closed off Market Street. And there's a Whole Foods below them, which got wiped out much earlier. So if you ever walked on this side of Market Street, it is a hellscape. crackheads, homeless galore. I cannot imagine having to work at Twitter and Square like post-COVID. It is horrific. Yeah. And then on the other side, we'll look at the richest suburbs in America and where they are. Good stuff there. And pivoting to real estate news, we got to talk commercial real estate contagion. So that is still unfolding, and this will wipe out so many banks. They're carrying so many bad loans on their books. Like it's for a second, we're all of a sudden very Japanese with that asset class. We just look the other way and pretend it doesn't exist. But the math will win.
And
Yeah. Yeah. And then going back to the tech sector and how we trick rocks to think in zeros and ones, we got to look at the latest with facial recognition technology being deployed in all 32 NFL stadiums. That's not draconian or Orwellian at all. And then speaking of which, we got to talk Saudis with too much money and not enough IQ points, because why would you give a massive cash injection to Lucid of all things when they're losing, what, 6 figures per vehicle sold? I'm not a genius or anything, but that doesn't seem like good economics. And then pivoting to the latest in thin film technology, it seems like NVIDIA is delaying its rollout due to its recent issues with all kinds of stuff. And it seems like maybe all of these chip debacles are supply side issues to begin with, and it's not really the consumer. And taking a big punch to the neck with their share price doesn't help either. So we'll take a look at that. And then we're seeing chaos in the EV market as continued, and this scam will eventually end as subsidies dry up and consumers wake up as well. So yeah, take a look at the subsidies in the Eurozone for a second. And then you guys probably saw a lot of migration into like around Tennessee, like the Tennessee area, Nashville. The data centers that are rising up there for the VA, as alongside like Oracle moving as well to that area is, I guess to me, it's just more infrastructure for Langley. But we'll take a look at that in a bit. Cool. And then we're going to talk EVs with China as well on U.S. domestic soil. And we got to talk Cybertruck later. Yeah, let me drop a line here, remind myself. We got to talk Cybertruck, and we'll look at Whistling Diesel's latest durability stress
Hey,
test.
are you just coming back? Oh, how did he do?
Pardon me, Kurt. Just going to mute you for a second. But yeah, cool. Speaking of how do you do, we'll look at the labor market and the latest stats there from the layoff side and jobless claims. So, and then we got to switch to the international side, and this is where all of the black swans hang out, right? So, again, I'm loving our new image here with the cocaine distribution network, and yeah, good times there. And yeah, the Austrian Taylor Swiftie fans had their concerts canceled due to, can I say the I word or the M word? Radical fundamentalists. Can we say that? Okay.
Mhm. Yeah.
And I spent a lot of time in Vienna, so this is a tragedy. I'm a big fan. And I didn't know there was literally a red heifer ritual. South Park made an episode about this. I thought that was parody, but there really is a red heifer protocol with the third temple. Like I'm yeah, so we'll talk about that. And the latest of in laundering a lot of money, and this time we do it through the World Bank. So they're going to take their commission and repackage the goods. So all more fun and games with Ukraine and the grift. And then there was a very specific do not fly alert to avoid Tehran at all costs. And that came from Egypt, I believe. So kind of bizarre. So we'll take a look at that. And the the foreshadowing. Meanwhile, monkeypox. If you guys remember this is monkeypox disappeared after stories came out that dogs and children were catching it. If you guys remember this, it was like a blackout, and we haven't talked about this like in 18 months. And yeah, so this is bizarre. So concurrently, the CDC has authorized emergency authorization of the chicken flu vaccine already. And we haven't heard much about that, at least this week. But yeah, this came out of nowhere. So, and we know this guy, the fake doctor, whatever his name is, I forgot. But he is a known Chinese asset from the COVID days. So wonderful times at the WHO. And then more fun news. Radical fundamentalists walk around with open machetes and swords and whatnot. And it's not fun in the UK. Okay, and what else? We'll talk beer for a second, and then yes, Bangladesh is no longer the best, and yes, becoming Pakistan 2.0, and the Hindu minorities are being genocided. It's ethnic cleansing. This is horrific. The Mughal Empire rises again. Holy shit. Okay, and the British Caliphate is in full effect, as we mentioned previously. And Rocket Boy has moved a lot of rockets and launchers awfully close to Seoul on the what is it, the 38th parallel. So that's fun. And Chinese and Russian intelligence officers are in Iran, and they have hardware en route. There's a specialty Russian cargo line that only delivers military hardware. And just over the weekend, they had 42 one-way single flights. And I haven't kept track with the latest after that. So yeah, great stuff. And then we have a tanker that went down outside of Bali on the oil front. That's not good. And again, this archipelago of islands here and the waterways, world commerce depends on this to be free and clear and open. And that's the unspoken rule between all of the, I mean, between the eagle, the dragon, and the bear that's contesting for this whole region. It's just extremely fragile. And how many goods go through all these different ports and channels and oil. It's just like the world is so fragile. It's just unbelievable. But yeah. And then the Royal House of Saudi is predicting increased demand. I don't know if this is warranted or not. Would love to get your thoughts. But yeah, we'll talk about that. And then in the gold market, we're seeing the gold and silver ratio move up quite a bit. We're at 88 right now. Gold is a little bit volatile, and silver is kind of boring and bearish. But yeah, we'll take a look at that. And in the supposed and traditional libertarian headquarters of America with Ron Paul and all the other great figures hailing from Kentucky, all of a sudden they want to tax the gold and silver purchases there. And it's ironic because they're trying to tax, it's a fiat tax on money, which is just funny to me. Okay, but yeah. And then I think we talked about this last week, but let me just delete this. This is the we looked at the Indian gold market, so yeah, that's okay. We'll remove that. And then this is my other passion project, right? Mainland Chinese fobs and gold. Here they are on a random traffic stop, and they got they enjoyed the civil asset forfeiture law, and the cops took the gold. And of course, it's going to disappear out of the evidence locker. And it's probably already gone because this was a Monday article. So we'll take a look at that and what not to do. So we'll recap what the procedure is if you get pulled over by the cop. Like, don't be scared. I've had guns pulled on me by cops. Like we're gonna advise you legally here how to handle this. So do not worry. And then, of course, I got to talk China, right? We'll talk we'll talk the Shanghai markets. We'll look at the latest RMB rates, and we're seeing a systemic collapse on the industrial side. So we're seeing base metals not being used. And yeah, we'll take a look at that and some semiconductor issues and Xi Jinping's latest return to traditional isolationist policies. And China always does this. It goes back to like the medieval period with the rule of the Mandarin emperors who, again, shut the borders, closed the ports and shut the borders and then stagnated for centuries. And Xi Jinping is trying to do that again by circling the supposed wagons. But yeah, so lots of good stuff. Yeah, questions, comments? Cool. All right. Let's kick off with our poll. I would love to know where you think the S&P 500 will go by next Thursday. So you can vote on your screen. And then we'll compare that against the American Association of Individual Investors. So while you guys are doing that, let me get the data ready. All right. Looks like only one person voted.
Hey, gee whiz. It came up real slow.
That's what she said. Oh yeah, this is a random stupid thing. What was it? Speaking of bedroom problems, there was a guy who's cheating on his wife, and this is on Reddit for some reason. His wife was going on a business trip for the weekend, and he was going to cheat on his wife, so he ordered Viagra for the weekend's recreational activities, and Alexa told him he got his email for his Viagra refill prescription in front of his wife. So Alexa outed him on his affair. So yeah. Okay, anyway. Okay, thank you for your votes. Let me share the results. All right, so it looks like 50% sideways, 50% bearish. I don't think I've ever seen it this cleanly stacked in the bearish side before. This is beautiful. I guess I'm doing my job in scaring everyone straight. Okay. All right, we'll save that. And let's look at the buy and quote cohort of the American Association of Individual Investors. All right, looks like we've lost some optimism from last week. And the swing voters, as it were, have shrunk a little bit. And the bears are over a third of the group. Wow, it's a pretty big wake-up call. So yeah, I think after Monday, everyone's a little bit suspect. All right, cool. Yeah, and we went over the announcement, so I hope you guys can catch us with Macmillan next week. And let's just find the idiot of the week in real time. We'll do it live. We'll do it live. All right. So yeah, how does Warren find this stuff? Warren goes to Wall Street Bets, sorts by top post for the week. Oh, I'll need this in a second. And then I go to the thread filter because there's just so much trash here. You gotta select which one. There's due diligence, discussion, and if you're wondering, what the hell is due diligence to a degenerate 25-year-old trading in the toilet with his phone? Good question. Let me just show you guys what this looks like. The autism is at work. You'll see. Due diligence, right? All right. Let me filter for the best due diligence of the week. This will terrify you. You know, we're used to writing trading plans and whatnot. This stuff is nuts. Let me see. Due diligence. All right, here we go. My one and only due diligence. Japan reversing their interest rate hike has put Jay Powell in an unwinnable position. We will not see rate cuts. Actually, this is a relatively sane analysis. They get a lot crazier. Like they're drawing insane things. Yeah, we don't have time for this. We'll just get back to our loss.
So their argument is that there won't be a cut in September?
Oh, this article, again, I just got this on the fly. Oh, what was that, the Japan one?
Well, I mean, there's an argument that there won't be a second cut in December. It's valid, but it's happening in September. The world will freak out if it doesn't.
Right, and there's still a possibility of an emergency meeting ahead of September, right? That's not impossible.
It's not wise to wimp out. I think that Powell is in agreement with me.
Yeah, and I dropped that link in the chat if you guys want to take a look. But yeah, let's get back to the losers of the week. Yeah, but yeah, you can play with this, guys. It's horrifying. Um, okay. Yeah, loss. We're gonna focus on losses. All right. All right. Losses for the week. Top losses. We'll just pick 1 and 2. All right, here's Intel. Oh God, that's gonna hurt. Put at opening. Yeah, that sounds bad. Okay. Oh my God. All right, let me drop this in our links here. Okay. All right, let's take a look. Okay. Okay, I definitely picked the wrong day to buy Intel. Gee whiz. Okay, let's see. They're on Robinhood, strike 1. Market value, $500,000. Holy cow. Down today's return, -26%. Total return, -29%. Portfolio diversity, 99%. Wait, I don't even have Robinhood at all. Does this mean you have 1 ticker or 2? I guess. But yeah, let's see. My plan was going into this was to hold for a decade. My plan hasn't changed. It's going to be rough, and I realized that. The past 2 days have been the scariest days of my life. My parents still don't know I've lost 1/3 of my inheritance. As an immigrant, I don't know what this word means. All right. Every time I talk to them, they can see how stressed I look, and they keep asking me what's wrong, and I don't know what to say. How can I explain this to them? My only option is to hold for a decade. He thinks he's Japan. So that's what I'm going to do. I know people are going to shit on me, and you should. I recognize I made an unnecessarily regarded decision. He means retarded. I have received a lot of DMs and Reddit notifications offering me mental help and suicide hotline phone numbers. I appreciate your concern, but I'm fine. I'm holding long term. Multi-decade high is gonna hold. I'm sorry if my decision made you upset and reflect on your financial situation. That was not my intention. I appreciate all of your support and constructive criticism. Some of you really mean, oh, sorry, some of you have been really mean, but it's okay. I know I deserve it, but I'm holding forever. Intel will succeed. So
That's the definition of diamond hands.
And I mean, I guess if he sells calls for the next decade, he might recover half of his principal, maybe. Maybe. But we'll tell him to sell calls. Okay, posted. Oh, poor guy. Poor kid. Sorry, he's not a guy. He's a child. But yes, he has lost $700,000. Oh my gosh. So that means the inheritance was 2.1 million. That means it was cash 2.1 million. After probate, after everything else, he got net cash 2.1 million. Wow. Like, why would you do that? Like, why would you give an idiot a loaded weapon? And what's his subtitle here? Least favorite grandchild. The comedy writes itself. Okay. And his handle is sad nefariousness. Okay. All right, we have too much fun here. All right, loser number 2 of the week. All right, this is fun. 3 days ago, put at opening. This should be good. All right. He's down 2/3 of his account. So let's see, $271,000. So he started with 400K. Holy cow. And again, again, strike 1. He's on Robinhood. Still holding some puts that expire on 8/9. Am I cooked? He needs a Hail Mary by tomorrow. But yeah. Incredible. Yeah. He doesn't post his positions. I would assume this is SPY or something, but yeah. Yeah, toast. idiots with too much money. I don't know what the hell's going on with these guys. All right, cool. All right, lots of idiots. We're gonna move on, and let's get to the fun stuff. All right, so we'll skip other trading rules. Let's go to the charts. We got TOS loaded here, and it looks like SWAB and the internet and my VPN are okay at the moment. So now we're going to make the CPU scream and look at a lot of heavy data. All right, ES, let's take a look. And I realized I don't report on the NASDAQ futures and the Russell futures. So we're going to take a look. And since I have no data, we're going to learn live in real time what is fair value for like the put call ratio. So they'll be fun. All right, let's see. ES at the moment, up nice 2%. It's been a nice opening. Little choppy on the it's kind of opening bearish on the open today at 6:30. And then it rebounded and reversed in a big way. So yeah, about what time did it reverse? Yeah, about 6:50. Yeah, okay. So yeah, for the multiple entry iron condor crowd, that probably was a bit of a confusing mixed signal there. But yeah, all right, cool. And let's look at momentum, right? As momentum traders here, looking at the on-balance volume line. Again, this measures net inflows versus outflows per day. And in my opinion, this is surgical compared to RSI, which is, plus 30, minus 70. Like, that doesn't give you enough information. So yeah, I like this a lot better. And right now we're right at the zero line. There's no net buying and selling. In fact, we're slightly in the sell-off territory, negative 700,000 contracts, at least for today. So yeah. So if this is smart money and they're not going long, that should tell you something, right? Cool. And let's look under the hood and look at the betting public and see how people are wagering their money across the lands. And here you see my Bumble shorts paying off. Thank God. Come on, Swab. Oh, come on. Oh, come on. Okay, here we go. Come on. Analytics. All right, let me turn off my video. This is like, I guess things are slower than I thought. Come on. Oh, there we go. Problem detected. Okay, thanks, Swab. F your development team. Okay. Looks like volumes, fairly normal day, about a little under 500,000 contracts overall. Put call ratio 2.532. That is well above the fair value of 1.4. And the 0 to 20 bearish deltas are a little bit high at 82% of all of the bearish positions here. So we've seen this go to a nuclear 90 before, but 82 is still a little bit high. So it looks like there's a lot of short-term hedging, even though it's such a green day. So smart money is playing this close to the chest at the moment. All right, looks good. Let's go to SPX, the second tier supposed smart money, the Don Kaufman's beloved mother of all products. And let's take a look at SPX, the big boy option contracts, which are worth 10 shares of the SPY. So if you're running the wheel and want to upgrade, it might be nice to get into SPX. If Swab will load, come on. Ah, come on, Swab. How many seconds of our life have you costed us? This is a lot of lag. Okay. All right. Let's see. Put call ratio. Normal trading day, 1.3, right at the money.
Continue to installation button and follow the instructions.
Looks like Larry is assembling IKEA furniture. So we'll mute him for a second. Okay. All right. Let's see. Yeah, so 1.3, fair value is 1.4, and I can't tell at a glance if this contract count is correct, because the sizzle numbers are broken. But yeah, the 0 to 20 delta is only at 64% on the bearish side. Nothing, there's no falling knife for sure, at least today. Okay. Looks fairly normal on SPX. They're not as smart as ES. Looks like they're not hedging in the short term. But yeah, let's go to SPY. And the retail side should be a lot more optimistic. And let's take a look. Oh, welcome, Joseph. Let me drop the session notes in case you didn't grab it. All right, it's in the chat for you. All right, let's take a look at SPY. Let's look under the hood. Come on. Come on. Oh, almost. Okay, let's see. Okay. 1.254. That is yeah, normal trading day. Nothing serious on the bearish deltas. These sizzle numbers do look correct. So yeah. So what this sizzle is it looks at the volume today against the rolling average of the last 5 days. So you can kind of see if there's any extreme. So off this data, we're seeing a little bit heavier of a bias on the call side versus the puts, but both are higher than their 5-day average. All right, excellent. Now let's go to the NASDAQ, and we'll start off in the same multi-tiered analysis as S&P 500 by starting with the futures. And what are Russell futures? What's the forward slash? Or we'll get there in just a second. All right, NASDAQ futures with NQ. Let's take a look. NQ. Come on, swap. Come on. All right, here we go. All right, loaded. Let's take a look at the charts. What are we seeing? No, not what we want to see, but what are we seeing? All right, so we see margin call Monday here, and then we are touching the 200-day moving average, and we're testing the hell out of it right now. I guess this is the bounce off it right now, literally. But will this last? Looking at momentum, maybe not. Looks like we're paralleling the S&P 500, and today is a net sell-off day on the future side. So looking at on-balance volume here, or money flow, yeah. And look at that. Volume matches the price action line almost perfectly. Look how smooth that is. So yeah, why would you not use this indicator? Okay. So yeah, NQ, and let's look under the hood and see what the betting public at large thinks of NASDAQ futures. It's up 3% for the day, though. Hell of a recovery from Monday. But yeah, we did hit a circuit breaker this week, guys. And don't forget, Korea and Japan got wiped out too. So yeah. All right, pretty optimistic. Again, we don't know what fair value is, so we'll just have to look. Today it's 0.91. This can't be normal with a 3% up day. Okay, all right, so we're still learning what this looks like. But yeah, look at that. Only 30,000 contracts. That's smaller than the Diamond ETF. What the hell? It's a tiny market. Excuse me. Okay, and again, I don't know if these sizzle numbers are accurate either, so this is new territory for me. Okay, let's get out of the supposed smart money of the NASDAQ and go to the ETF where all the techies like to play. And if you live in North San Jose and you're a super micro stakeholder, you might be you might be on suicide watch yourself. Whatever you do not go to Bay 101 and Matrix and the Matrix Casino. I wonder how the local casinos are doing, actually. Okay. All right, let's look under the hood here. Come on, swap. Come on. Option chain. Close. Okay, here we go. All right, 1.24. That's a little bit south of fair value, but fairly close. Again, 1.3, 1.4 is a normal day. Everything else looks fairly normal. No extreme deltas. Yeah, it's a nice, normal, fairly even keeled trading day. Okay, cool. Let's go to the Russell 2000. Gives us a better analysis of the market, I think, with a broader base of 2,000 companies versus 500 or 100 or 30, as it were. And what are Russell futures? Does anyone know? Russell futures, what is it? What's the ticker? Dave Flock?
It's RTY, sorry, I was on mute.
Oh, okay, RTY, thank you.
Yeah, /RTY.
Perfect. TY, RTY, RTY. All right, we're also having a nice update today. Oh, come on, RTY. RTY. RTY is living in the future in 2092. All right. Let's see. All right, bam. Okay, let's see. We tested the 200-day moving average on Monday and then bounced off. That's nice. So looks like the Russell's a little bit more resilient. And with it, there is, we've seen a lot of rotation into small caps, and we've been talking about that. And it seems like that's continued. And then in a bit, we'll look at the Stock Traders Almanac and see if we can see some seasonality with this potentially continued trend. So yeah, but we did have at least in the last I guess month, what is this? Shoulder, head, shoulder kind of pattern. But yeah, at least for now, there are inflows, even though it's a little bit shaky. Overall, it's inflows with the futures side. Okay, cool. And let's go under the hood and see where the put call ratio is at. 0.715. I don't know what fair value is, but yeah, we'll just mentally catalog that number in our head. And this is what? Net 6,000 contracts? No, less than that. Wow, this is not a crowded place at all. Interesting. Okay, we are in rarefied air here. It's a very tiny market. Okay, cool. And let's go to the big daddy, Russell 2000 with IWM. And let's take a look at this. Okay. Excuse me. Where are we? Where are we? Come on, Swab. Can you load? Okay. All right. So again, bouncing off the 200-day moving average. They did it. This index did a lot nicer than the other ones. And we are seeing a very similar inflow pattern as the future side. So looks very similar. Okay, so just off this, Russell 2000 should go up over time, assuming other wild cards aren't in play. Okay, there's a lot of them in effect. So yeah. All right, let's go to the diamonds. Checking out the Dow Jones. What are Dow futures? Okay, this might be interesting. Dow futures. Does anyone know what this is, Kurt?
That?
Dow futures? You guys know the
Oh,
ticker?
Dow is YM.
YM? Okay, thank you. If you guys think I should leave off Russell, Dow, and NASDAQ futures from this analysis, I'm not opposed to it, but I'm just kind of curious.
I watch them. I don't pay much attention. I mean, I just watch them. Is it? I trade ES and look at NQ.
Yeah. I think for most techies turned traders, ES and the Qs are standard fare.
Yeah.
Wow. Am I reading this right? 2 contracts? Okay, research done. We're gonna skip Dow futures. Nobody cares. All right. Research done. All right, let's go to the VIX and let's look at the dollar strength because we gotta talk currencies. All right, so looks like the VIX is 24. It can still buy cigarettes and alcohol. Okay. We need to get it back into a teenage area and then go long like a mofo. And maybe go out to like December, 130 days out, just so you get nice December, nice November coverage. All right. And let's look at dollar strength. Let's take a look. Oh, I invited a friend to our Discord. If you guys know this, I forgot what his handle was. It's RBFX or something. He is a friend of Hannah's and Ramsey's. But yeah, I met him at their family reunion that I got to DJ, and it turns out he's a big Forex guy and has traded. He trades Forex and ES exclusively, and has an interesting schedule, kind of like Dave. Like he trades from 11 p.m. to 3 a.m., goes to sleep, waits for the market to open, and then he signs in on lunch and then looks at, everything. But yeah. Oh, wait, sorry, charts. All right, let's look at dollar. Where have we been with the dollar strength? Okay, so it's been a little bit on the downside. So a weakening dollar. Okay. And we've been on this nice spectrum here, but yeah, when did we last touch this area? Looks like the beginning of the year. Okay, and Christmas time. So, you know, my old trend line here at 93 is well south of this. So is there support at 103? There is. Oh wow. Let's draw this trend line. Let's be good students. And since we're all very visual learners, we should draw this trend line. I don't draw enough of these, but let's be a good student. All right. Drawing tools. Oh God, Swab, you're so laggy. This is why I don't do it. I forgot. It might be time to migrate off of TOS altogether. Maybe I can't even use this for analytics. Okay. There we go. Line. Okay, come on. Support at 103. Come on, let's draw a line. Okay, there we go. All right, let's modify. Come on, drawing tools. Oh, sorry, it's over here. Oh, I don't use this often enough. I don't even know where everything is. All right, let's modify. Edit line. Come on, right click. Okay, edit properties. Here we go. Okay. All right, let's change the color. What do we want? What's the other one? The other one's orange. We'll make this orange. And let's also put a timestamp on this so we know when this was. Let's see. We made this on August 8th. 224. Let's give it a nice dotted or line dot look. Let's widen this a little bit. Okay, cool. All right, now we have some sanity, and we have support back to 2016 here. Wow, incredible. Okay, yeah, this trend line's pretty cool. Holds through. Man, it's amazing when like TA works out. When it doesn't, you're just confused. But when it does, it's beautiful. All right. All right, that's dollar strength for you guys. And let's go jump back to our notes. All right, so we got that. Let's look at the future with fear and greed. All right. So yeah, the composite score has been all over the place. Again, it's as low as 19. I posted a screenshot onto Discord. So yeah, previous close, we've been staying at range. And 1 week ago, we were at 32. And the world was a different place before Japan broke the carry trade. And then looks like we were 51 a month ago and 69 a year ago. All right. And we haven't seen a cross on this 125 moving day average since October 2023. I don't think I was even looking at this that closely back then, or at least not reporting it on Thursdays. But yeah, we have finally crossed, and yeah, definitely in the fear camp there. Let's see, looking at our Heidenberg Omen here with the 52-week high versus 52-week low. Looking at the delta remains, we're on the sort of mid channel on the bullish side. So the neutral readout, I guess we'll give this a check mark and agree. Look at the McKillen index. This is more of a median value by looking at all of the number of shares rising versus falling. So it's not the 52-week extremes. I think this gives it a little bit more accurate market breadth examination. And you can see, like, in this time continuum, it's been trending downward. And you can see, like, if we were to extend this trend, this extreme fear scenario would continue. So as a whole, market breadth is not collapsing, but let's say it's declining. These retards don't understand put call ratio. A 5-day window is kind of retarded. But yeah, they think 0.9 is extreme fear. Like, yeah, we'll just laugh at them. And here's the VIX itself. And again, it peaked. This doesn't count for intraday highs, but yeah, this the close was at 38, but we got as high as 61 due to the Japan yen carry trade breaking. And yeah, 61. All right, cool. And let's just take a peek at their other stuff. What is this? Stocks versus bonds, extreme fear, junk bonds. Yeah, okay. We'll skip the boring stuff there. Okay. All right, let's look at Jeffrey Hirsch's research team. And this is the 2024 edition. So we're looking at the most current data. And let's see. Here's the August readout that we've been examining. Let's see. And again, we want to look at August, September, and November in the context of the Russell 2000. And let's see if this rotation into small caps can be continued. All right. So for August, harvesting made August the best stock market month from 01 to 51. Now that about 2% of the US is doing farm work. August is the worst Dow and second worst S&P and NASDAQ month since 1988. Second shortest bear in history caused by turmoil in Russia. Currency crisis and hedge fund debacle ended here in 1998. Blah, blah, blah. Saddam Hussein triggered a 10% slide in 1990. That's an interesting match to today's Middle Eastern chaos. Best Dow gains from 82 and 84 as bear markets ended. Next to last day, S&P up 9 times of the last 27 years. In presidential election years, August ranks number 5 for the S&P, number 4 for the Dow, and number 1 for the NASDAQ. All right, well, still early in August, but we'll have to see how these trends hold up. All right, September. Portfolio managers after Labor Day tend to clean house in September. Biggest percentage loser on the S&P, Dow, and NASDAQ since 1950. Streak of 4 great Dow Septembers, averaging 4.2% gains, ending in 1999, with 6 losers in a row, averaging negative almost 6%. And then up 3 straight years from 05 to 07, and then down 6% in 08 and 11. And then up 7.7% in 2010 and down big last 3 years. Day after Labor Day, Dow down 11 of the last 15. S&P opened strong 17 of the last 28 years, but tends to close weak due to end of quarter mutual fund portfolio restructuring. And on the last trading day, S&P is down 19 of the past 30. And September's triple witching week can be dangerous. Week after is pitiful. I love verbiage like that. It's good prose. All right, November. Number 1 for the S&P and number 2 for the Dow. Shout out to the Santa Claus rally. And is number 2 in the NASDAQ since 1971. It is the start of the best 6 months of the year and NASDAQ's best 8 months of the year and the best 3. Simple MACD timing indicates almost triples for the best 6-month strategy and doubles for the NASDAQ best 8. Day before and after Thanksgiving Day combined, only 19 losses in 71 years. Wow, the turkey effect. All right. Week before Thanksgiving, Dow up 19 of the last 30 and down the last 6. And in presidential election years, November ranks number 1 for the Dow, number 1 for the S&P, and number 7 for the NASDAQ. NASDAQ down 22.9% in November 2000 due to an undecided election and tech bubble burst. What do you know? The past rhymes with the future yet again. Wow. Yeah, that's November for you. And just in today's current zeitgeist, it's just incredible to even think about Thanksgiving and cranberry sauce and turkeys. But it's only in 90 days. It just doesn't feel like it at all. Yeah, Christmas, the holidays. All right. So yeah, we have a lot of interesting things that can happen in the next, I guess, 80 to 90 days. Wow, incredible. Okay, we'll skip sector rotation for this week. But yeah, let's talk earnings. And we'll steal the Wall Street Bets earnings thing here. This is a beautiful, clean interface. This is hella better than the earnings whisper junk. Let me drop this in the Discord too for all of us. Cool. All right. So yeah, we'll copy and paste this into our notes. And I'm very excited to review the couple earnings with you guys that came out this week. But yeah, let's take a look. We got Unity today. This was part of the COVID lockdown era of IPOs. And I have that time capsule beautifully preserved in one of my watch lists. Let's go to Warren's very interestingly named watch list. And the problem with this is that I name it too complicated that I can't remember what it is. Okay, this is IPO Yo-Yo. Like the name itself tells you what the sector does. All right, where's Unity? Right here. Market cap of 5.6 billion. So Unity does they have a beautiful 3D engine for games, and it basically powers a lot of strategy games and shooters and a bunch of fun things. So it's a cool platform for game modders and whatnot. But as an IPO stock, is it doing well or not? That's hard to say. But let's just take a look. Some cool like custom game modders, like one-man armies. They're remaking whatchamacallit, like classic Zelda from like the 1990s on modern 3D engines, and it looks incredible on YouTube and whatnot. And I guess when I can retire from trading, I'm gonna catch up on all the video games I missed as a kid. Like I've never had a PlayStation. Do you know any Asians my age that never had a PlayStation? Yeah, like this guy never went to Disneyland or had real video games. So we got to catch up. All right. Anyway, look at this IPO Yo-Yo. Does this look optimistic for you? Look at this. It's a toilet bowl, sell off city, just unloading like there's no tomorrow. And this IPO opened at $60 something, and it's been a post-COVID disaster. This is just really sad. So yeah, interesting earnings trade candidate here. All right, cool. So that's Unity for you. What else is cooking up? We got SoundHound, 23andMe. What a joke. CleanSpark, The Trade Desk, Gilead, Brazilian gasoline. Anything else interesting? Dropbox. What is I Am Gold? And Nikola. Wait, Nikola's alive? Weed stocks. Yeah. And then Hawaiian Electric on Friday close. Okay, so not the biggest earnings day for us today, but after last week, I'm okay with less excitement. Okay. So yeah, so that's earnings for now. And let's look at Airbnb. Again, a very nice proxy for American US consumer sentiment data. All right, headline reads, Airbnb shares plunge on slowing US demand as consumer downturn worsens. That sounds optimistic, right? So let's see. Airbnb warned that it is seeing shorter booking lead times globally and shows signs of slowing demand from US guests. Bookings increased 8.7% in the second quarter, yet missed analyst estimates, blah, blah, blah. Airbnb expects sequential moderation of booking growth in third quarter. What kind of gobbledygook is this? Man, freaking lawyers and accountants, they write terrible copy. In a consumer downturn, vacation spending is some of the first discretionary spending households cut to preserve cash. Okay, yep. All right, let's see what's anything else interesting here. No, let's just go to the charts. And if you guys have looked into Airbnb's net effect from a societal level, it basically destroys communities, and because it's leveraging, or it's responding to the short-term incentives to speculate on real estate and then rent out the short-term rentals to tourists. But that makes that particular neighborhood unaffordable because speculators have moved in to buy everything. And then guess what? You can't even afford the city you grew up in. And like if you're working and living there, you're priced out of housing and the rental market. And because this trade becomes crowded. For example, Las Vegas, like the Airbnb market there is insane. And similar to how streaming is now just as a pain in the butt as cable, Airbnb is becoming just as a pain in the butt as hotels with their resort fees and whatnot. So everything that is old is new again. Everything new is old again. Blah, blah, blah. Yes,
Warren,
sir.
you're leaving out the corporate purchases of rentals or the private equity purchases of rentals in combination with Airbnb. It's a horrible 1-2 punch.
Exactly. Well said. Well said. So you have the institutional giant, the mammoth, devastating this landscape. And you got smaller guys doing the same. And unfortunately, people who look like me are part of that speculation crowd at the individual level, because these are family offices out of Singapore buying up this stuff, and they're laundering money from Chinese commies. And that's a real problem. That's why, like, if you ever wonder why certain Airbnbs have like terrible customer service, there might be a Chinese guy on the other end. Oh, that's terrible. Okay, so let's look at the price action. Again, we're matching momentum perfectly with inflows and outflows, and yeah, and we're in sell-off territory for a long time and have been for the last like 89 of the last 90 days. It's just been sell-off, sell-off, sell-off. So yeah, good times here. And it looks like in the near term, this is literally a dead cat bounce pattern, right? Yeah, it really is. Dead cat bounce. Yeah. And then returning back to Larry's point, yes, private equity, between the blacks, the vanguards, and the states, them alone already own 89% of the S&P 500. And that's not talking about their other holdings in the residential and commercial side of housing. So it is crazy. And what happens once they burn out the tourist market? They're just going to rent out the homes and lodging to illegals, just like in New York. And they've devastated the Roosevelt Hotel in Midtown doing exactly that. And then you fast forward down the line, can we expect Americans burning down the Roosevelt Hotel in Midtown if civil unrest gets out of hand, just like in the UK? Absolutely. Yes, it's absolutely possible. Okay. All right, next earnings report. Let's get out of this. Let's talk super micro, representing the 408 and the 95131 zip code here. And a past client of DJ Warren Services is super micro. All right. Let's see. Gross margins are taking a hit. That's always exciting. Net cash flow, these red numbers don't look good. And to add insult to injury, they had to they did a 10-for-1 stock splits. Wait, sorry. Well, yeah, sorry. Wait, how did it is? Company's announcement for a 10-for-1 stock split on October. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, it is in October. And then I don't think this attempt at affordability is really helpful. I think it's mistimed and they're just imitating its bigger cousins, and it's not really working. Our boy Charles Liang is not is kind of not managing the ship really well here. But yeah, let's take a look at Supermicro on the charts. And again, I met Charles, shook his hand. He used my microphone at the Intel event that I was hosting, and he's a bit of a pansy. Like yeah, so that's like that's just my read of him. Like he doesn't look like Jansen Wong at all. Like it's a totally different vibe. But yeah. How's momentum? It's a disaster. It's been in a sell-off mode for the last 90 days, and it's been steadily mounting, peaking at negative 100 million shares per week. Sorry, per day. Even though it's up 4% for the day, this just means we have a nicer scaffold to hang Supermicro on. Let's look under the hood and check out the betting public. What is everyone doing with their Supermicro stock besides unloading them? Looks like the spec crowd with the options are shorting the hell out of these guys. Look at this. Put call ratio north of 1. That's super bearish. And remember, this was a semiconductor darling for several weeks, if not a couple months. So yeah, fortunes change quickly in the Silicon Valley. All right. And to pretend I'm Flavius for a second, where is support? Where is support? There's just support at 500? No, there is not.
300.
Exactly. There's one thin layer of support at 360.
That's where it will go.
And then that's why Flav is selling the 380s. It's a safe strike price. Okay. All right. Good times there. All right, thank you, Supermicro. Let's talk the other side of the science spectrum with weight loss drugs. All right, and it's just like, what is it? Looking at just the pace of R&D in general. Americans invented the washing machine before they invented like motorcycle safety helmets. So, yeah. And then now, instead of curing, other important issues, we're focusing on fat drugs. It's wonderful. Okay. So let's see. Disappointing Ozempic and Wegovy misses. Blah 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 blah. And then this affects Eli as well. Blah blah blah. Let's just go to the charts. And we're gonna look up stomach paralysis. Yep. LLY. Come on. Load. Okay, beautiful. What are we seeing? Like sort of momentum. Net inflows have been strong since mid-June to now, slowing down a little bit, but still strong. And 90 days kind of peaked and then it fell down. So this price action versus momentum chart looks a little different from the last couple of tickers we were looking at. So to me, this indicates a changing of the bag. So looks like, especially with the peak of 716 or mid-July, looks like inflows continued, but price action fell down in a big way. So old money selling into new money. and the rich get richer and the poor get poorer. And then meanwhile, as people are trying to figure out what to do, it's up 10% for the day. Holy cow. But overall, we're seeing again kind of a sucker's rally here, right? So kind of a dead cat bounce pattern repeated. So yeah, extreme volatility here. But I'm sure it's paying very nicely though. So a fun thing to play with. Okay. But yeah, Ozempic drugs. Let's look up Ozempic side effects. Stomach paralysis. Paralysis. Here we go. 1 in 20. Where did that line go? 1 in 20. There you go. 1 in 20 new users of GLP-1 drugs who are obese or have diabetes go on to develop stomach paralysis. You are almost 4 times as likely to get stomach paralysis on Ozempic or another GLP-1 drug than you are on a non-GLP-1 weight loss med like Contrave? I have no idea what this is. But yes, with Ozempic stomach paralysis, whole pieces of food stick in your stomach for much longer than they should. When food doesn't make it all the way through the digestive tract, it can lead to malnutrition, dehydration, and abnormal changes in your blood sugar. Lingering food can harden into solid masses called basors that can cause nausea, vomiting, and even death. And all of a sudden, I want to know what basors look like when extracted. Please look away from the screen if you don't want to see some medical gore. Oh my God, there are literal rocks that are calcified. Holy crap. Wow. That's terrifying. Okay. So yes, that's stomach paralysis. Your stomach literally turns off and food gets stuck. Wow. That is insane. 1 in 25%? What? You have a 1 in 20 chance of your stomach outputting rocks instead of glucose? That is insane. Okay. So yeah, crazy. And I've been reading some other reports that there's like suicide ideation in a big way within the first 18 to 24 hours. I think that's just low blood sugar and they don't know how to handle it. Like if you've been stuffing your face full of carbs, that first switch from glucose to ketones makes your head hurt like crazy. So maybe that's why there's suicide ideation. Good times. All right. Out of earnings, let's look at the retail fish and what they're trading. Again, know your enemy and know your counterparty. All right. What's on today's map? Let's see. NVIDIA, Intel. What is made? Hood, Q's, LLY, Lumen, Tesla, Supermicro. What the hell is LOT? I keep forgetting. Palantir, Disney, ASTS, Bumble, Dating Gone Wrong, Apple, Rivian, Hims and Hers, AI, AMD, Wendy's, the Semiconductor Index, Reddit. Oh yeah, they just had earnings. Horrible bid-ask spread. Amazon, and what the hell is Dips? Okay, let me grab the screenshot. But yeah, at a glance, we can see that of the bearish candidates, Wayfair is one of them, more red than green. Bumble, Disney. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, so that's the fish. And then let's get to our normal news cycle. All right, starting with Meta and Econ. I'd say nuclear warheads in the sky are bullish for oil, but not bullish for other sectors. So that's that. And let's talk Japan for a second. Let me see. Oh, we got Michael from Oregon and Rob from the South Bay. What's up, gentlemen? Let me pull up
Morning.
these session notes for you guys.
Yeah, I was going to note that the ticker symbol lot could be for big lots, possibly.
Yeah, because this is a word aggregator. So like CPI often gets listed, AI gets listed a lot. I think dips is similar, and yeah, maybe lot is the same thing. Just double check. Is lot a stock? What is lot? Lot is a stock. It's a Lotus Technology. I don't think this is it. But yeah, there's a Lotus Tech.
Huh,
I don't know if
that's
it's a,
different from what I expected.
yeah, it's something else. Okay, but yeah, I think it's just a catch-all of the word. So yeah, we don't have to read too deeply into it. Cool. All right, so Japan. Let's replay the timeline here. Bank of Japan last week before Friday, raises rates 15 basis points, right, from 10 to 25, and the world basically collapses and wipes out Japan in the process. And that's just from 15 basis points, or you call it 25 total, but sure. So that is just insane how fragile this was. So the interest rate arbitrage here was people would borrow money cheaply from Japan and then park the money in higher paying bond products, mainly American and some other stuff. And this was a great interest rate arb for a long time. And people, I guess everyone was redlining it to the max because 15 basis points wiped out people. It's just crazy that all the bankers are playing dice with such funds at such insane levels with no room for error. Like these bankers don't follow any of our trading rules whatsoever. They're obsessed with the short term because they know their friends in government will bail them out or go to war on their behalf. It's a dirty game of cronyism and kleptocracy, which is rule of the rich and the corrupt. So yeah, so markets crashed over the weekend, um, and then yen plunges as a result. But the whole attempt at this was to try to save the yen, and it looks like the Bank of Japan made this move independently of their masters. And Japan is a conquered nation, and they have masters, and it overlaps with us. But for the most part, they are a vassal state of the U.S. empire. And that's why it's an interdependent reality because Taiwan and South Korea confirmed that as well. So Japan melts down 13% and South Korea and Taiwan goes down almost 9%. So yeah. And now let's look at this week's, earlier in the week, the Bank of Japan governor, Mr. Uchimada's comment. And, not complicated. It's just, we will not raise rates when markets are unstable. So capitulation and then the supposed recovery, which is really a sucker's rally and a dead cat bounce in the making. So yeah, any questions, comments? Okay. And
Yeah, actually, Warren, do you think this will spread to like China as well?
yeah.
Do you
I mean,
think Chinese? Yeah,
yeah. I mean, there's a lot of carry trades, right? Like these. I mean, these arbitrages aren't like novel. And
right.
and then if I was smarter, I would have saw like we talked about this last week, right? That there was a during the week there was a rate increase from the Bank of Japan, and I'm not smart or I'm not as smart as I think I am, so I didn't understand how this affects other things. But there was a book that Flav pointed out that I read and still didn't understand what was happening. What was it called? The carry trade book.
No.
Right, rise of carry.
The Rise of Carry. Yeah. So Massey had a speaker for this like a year and a half, 2 years ago. I rushed through it because the speaker came, I think. But yeah, let me paste this in the chat. It talks about the rise of carry and the dangerous consequences of volatility suppression and the new financial order of decaying growth and recurring crisis. So yeah, Massey's good friends with Kevin Cold Iron. Wow, that's a badass blacksmith name, Cold Iron. You could use that as a band name too. But yeah, oh gosh. So it looks like this meeting wasn't 2 years ago. It was 4 years ago from 2020, October, right before lockdowns. Holy cow. Yeah. So yes, if you see interest rates rise again anywhere else, you should know that there's bankers that are suicidal as a result. Okay, so yeah, to learn more about what happened and how this breaks other carry trades, feel free to grab this book. And I don't even know where my copy is. Maybe I have to go on to PDF. Let's see if we can find this book real quick. The Rise of Carry. Rise of Carry. No. Let's try to find this with Google then. Oh man. Okay. Rise of Carry file type PDF. Oh yeah, the first chapter's free. Okay. Here's the first chapter on PDF, at least. That's a nice sample. Here, I'll drop this in the chat. It's from the author himself. Cool. Did I find it anywhere else? Oh, I found the presentation. Wow. That is cool. Thank you, Google, for indexing this. So here's a presentation. Let's see if we have a date of this. Why the 2020 crash would have happened anyway. Oh, I like this. Oh, wow. These are good topics. Holy shit. Holy shit. All right, this is good shit. Forget reading a book. Read the presentation. All right. You're welcome. All right, link in the chat. And then let's see. It looks like this is someone else writing this. Oh, this is an academic paper. Oh God. This might be interesting. I don't know. Let me drop this in the chat. Maybe it's fruitful. Okay. All right. Well, that's cool. Let me drop this in our notes. Cool. All right. Excelente. And thank you again, Flaw, for mentioning this. All right. All right. So that's a carry trade, and there's a lot of other carry trades. There was also a whatchamacallit, a premium article on Zero Hedge that said 75% of carry trades are broken already. Let me try to find that. Here we go. Okay. Obviously I need to get premium edition of Zero Hedge again, but yeah. All right, here we go. JP Morgan, 75% of global carry trades have been unwound. Blah, 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 blah. Okay. Yeah. But yeah, I don't know of many other examples of this outside of Japan. And then what's his name? Max Kaiser used to mention there was also a famous carry trade with Puerto Rican bonds, which were overpaying at 11% for a long time. And that financed a lot of cocaine on Wall Street. His words, verbatim. Okay. Okay. All right. Next item. NVIDIA CEO to Warren Buffett. Insider stock selling was an ominous warning ahead of market swoon. Yeah, don't say. All right. All right. Jansen Wong, after signing boobs, dumps NVIDIA stock like there's no tomorrow. Hilarious. Hilarious. Why didn't we see this coming? Okay, good question. But yeah. Yeah, what can we say? Let's take a look at NVIDIA and
Is
Apple.
this public data or you have to pay to get it?
Oh no, this is absolutely public data. It's just a pain in the ass to look for it. So I mean, even FinViz has like a basic thing of like who's selling and buying on the bottom, right? So here, I'll show you, Joseph. It's right here. So latest insider trading. And in theory, you can look this up and leverage the information, but until you get to like C-suite level with like massive momentum behind big moves, then like something is afoot. So, for Jansen, what's the rule of the line of thought? It's people sell for many different reasons, but people only buy for one, which is to make more money in the future. And this doesn't look like he just needs, 10 million to buy a new, Lake Tahoe cottage. This looks like he's unloading like a mofo. Calls his broker, hey, every day, 120,000 shares, just do it. So yeah, this is public data. It's just a bit of a pain to correlate. And this is niche specific guarded information. And it's all public, but shit, I wasn't reporting about this, and I think I'm covering too many sectors. And if I was, yes,
all of that was filed 120 days ago.
oh, that's a problem too. My bad.
Well, yeah, I mean, all insiders have to file on 8Ks.
So these are the individual lag is 120 days, and then 13Fs are 90 days. Is that the frequency?
Maybe it's 90 days, but whatever it is, I mean, all that information was known that it could happen a long time ago.
Wait, are you sure there's a lag time for this? Insider trading reporting. Insider trading reporting legal requirements.
I think it's, yeah, like, I think you said the 13F. I think I said 8K wrong. Oh, 10B51.
Yeah, no, let's double check. I think it's a fair point. It's a fair one. Let's just double check. 10B51. Okay. New conditions, blah, blah, blah. What are the changes? Oh gosh. Does someone have ChatGPT fired up on a separate tab that can ask them like what the rules are? I don't know. This is a good question. Here, I'll drop this in the chat and I'll write this down to maybe research. So,
Yeah.
Warren, research.
Yeah, 10B51 plan.
10B51 plan. Okay, research, insider transactions. I thought organizations can shield themselves with 13F, but for individuals, I thought you had to disclose it. Like these officers, it's being announced today, right? Let's just pick the first one. Proposed sale, this guy, Ulyss Payne. Oh, proposed sale and then sale. Oh, maybe there's a lag time or something.
Look on the far right-hand side. It says form,
The form,
SEC
yeah.
form.
Okay, let's see that. Dun, 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 dun. Okay. Date acquired, date sold. Wait, what?
Could be a same day sale.
Yeah, we'll have to do more research and circle back. But thank you, Joseph. That's an excellent question. If you guys look this up while I'm looking at the other stuff, we can circle back. Okay. But yeah, we'll try to figure that out. And then we talked about the retail issues already again. And just curious, like Flav, has this changed your perception of TOS, or does this change your workflow at all? Are you diversifying your brokers as well?
Mhm.
I mean, you already are diversified a fair bit, but what's your take on this? Oh, maybe Flav stepped away. Okay, we'll circle back. No worries. But yeah, I forgot to update our iron trading rules to prevent idiocy. We have to add, uh, you know, let's see, diversify your brokers. And then to be stupid, you only do not diversify your brokers. Okay. Excellent. Okay, let's go back to our notes. So we finished our economics news, and I'll have to update our black swans for all of the crazy stuff, Bangladeshi stuff and stuff, Bangladesh, blah blah. Okay. All right, let's get to currencies. So yes, Morgan Stanley is pitching crypto ETFs, or sorry, Bitcoin, because we have to specify now that there's multiple ETF products now. So let's see. Morgan Stanley, what's that? Under the Bank of America arm. So they're targeting net worth 1.5 million and above. That's probably not me just yet. But yeah, okay, not a lot of meat here. Okay. And then we talked about Mount Gox folks, so good for them. They're gonna hold longer. But yeah, this is kind of a thing from out of left field. And as a gold investor, I'm always paying attention to new currencies. And here's a pop quiz. Name one currency that's still alive that has survived for more than 100 years. There's not many. So USD/greenbacks is the next one to go. So it's kind of inevitable. But yes, this is a stable coin. So let's check this out first. Blah, blah, blah. It's euro backed, which is interesting, and has a $30 billion market cap. Am I reading this right? Okay. And yeah, so this is not quite in play just yet, but it will be MiCA compliant as of now, I guess. So yeah, more to unfold with this. If you guys remember another currency that was big during the global financial crisis, a lot of the gold and silver community was talking about this, but it was the Amero. And I even saw pictures of coins minted already, like on pallets and whatnot. So yeah, this was part of the sort of kind of NAFTA Frankenstein concoction of Canada, Mexico, and the United States to form their own, I guess, the North American, euro, as it were. So yeah, the Amero. Yeah, there's still pictures of the coins. Yeah, that's right. The coins were here, 2007. So yeah, I am remembering this correctly. But yeah, happy to drop this in the chat. Feel free to dig into this rabbit hole. So yeah, again, we have to be vigilant with the global reset. And again, looks like the timeline is spend money like a drunken sailor, inflate the currency, and then when you can't inflate the currency anymore, then go to war, and then launch a new currency after that. So you have to remember, like, we pay $1 trillion in interest to service our debts every 100 days. And at some point, that's going to be every 90 days, then 80, then 50, then 10, and then we're Zimbabwe. So it's a serious problem. So that's why, like, I look to the gold and silver, like, you know what? I might not get rich with gold and silver, but I definitely won't be poor, which is almost just as good. All right. Domestic news. And again, I will swap this photo. Southwest has lost their throne here. So yeah. All right, domestic news. Oh, it's already 12 o'clock. All right, we got to speed up. All right, let's compare and contrast this week's election shenanigans with last week's. All right. Let me make a little bit more room. Okay. Predicted presidency. Okay. All right. Here, let me just fix this a little bit. Okay. All right. I know the text is a little hard to read. I will read it out aloud as well. All right. Let's see. Last week we didn't have a VP pick yet, and out of nowhere, Shapiro lost all of his credibility. And who is Mark Kelly out of the know? And whatever the Minnesota guy showed up. And okay, so that was a bit of a shock. And let's see what else. Presidential election winner. So Kamala is favored over Donald Trump. Wow. What happened? So let's see. Last week it was 54 cents for Kamala. This week it's 57 cents. Wow. Okay. And then will Harris be the 47th president? 56 cents, yes, 40 cents, 44 cents, no. And that's the no change for today. Okay. Wow. Anything else interesting? I guess that's it. Oh, will Biden resign during his first term? 18 cents to the yes, and that's decreased to 13 cents today. Wow. Okay. All right. So yeah, that's the betting public's opinion on the elections. Interesting. And we'll save this screenshot. The Uniparty wins again, in case you want to know the outcome. All right. And then this is really dirty. Federal Air Marshal whistleblowers report Tulsi Gabbard actively under surveillance via the Quiet Skies program. And I'm reading a lot of in conservative forums about how like a lot of folks are pissed that Tulsi's not the VP pick for Trump. And I don't like Tulsi at all. I know she's a lieutenant colonel, blah, blah, blah. But like, I feel like she's a liberal in rhino clothing, but that's okay. But I think she would attract an interesting voter base to augment Trump's efforts. So I'm trying to understand why JD Vance was picked. And some other conspiratory forums said JD Vance is not a deep state asset. JD Vance is the insurance policy for Donald Trump so he doesn't get killed, because JD Vance is not who the deep state wants. And while that's a viable scenario, looking at JD Vance's actual track record, he seems like a bought and paid for, WEF agent galore. So he just happens to wear rhino clothing instead of Democratic clothing. So I don't know, but I thought I'd share that perspective at least. Okay, interesting. Next, let's take a look at mainstream media with this latest development with CNN and its parent Warner Brothers. All right, cool. Lots of mainstream media having all kinds of problems. Let me see. You know what? This kind of reminds me, we haven't talked about this in a long time, but what's his name? Carlos Slim, during the global financial crisis, bought the ailing New York Times, if you guys remember this. He's the telecommunications giant from Mexico. He gets a cut of all the remittances through Western Union and other payment channels. And he has a active hand in supporting illegal immigration. So I haven't looked at the stock in quite a bit, but I'm disappointed that it's doing well. Okay. Okay, back to CNN. So my accounting brain's trying to clarify what a write down is. Do you guys have more contextual knowledge on what a write-off is in a parent and subsidiary relationship? I'm trying to understand this. I'm not sure. That's okay. We don't have to understand everything. Effectively, CNN is figuratively worthless. Just like before Verizon's purchase of Yahoo, Yahoo USA was worthless from IP and everything, but Yahoo Japan was worth billions. So effectively, Verizon bought Yahoo Japan. So I think this is the reverse of that, sort of. Okay. All right, let's talk more consumer sentiment proxies. And this is the Monster beverage. Again, a little bit more youth and, X Games focused. Again, they're trying to fight. I guess Monster is the US version because Red Bull is from Austria. So yeah. All right, drink volume slid to the worst date since the beginning of the virus pandemic. Blah, blah, blah. We are a blue collar brand and our consumers are more hard pressed than consumers in other categories. Okay. Yeah, I guess here we go. US energy drink category by volume. So we have Monster, which is in blue, Red Bull, Bang, Celsius, yeah. I don't know what these are. And let's see, the line in blue, is that I guess that's all of the above. So the trend line is the blue line. And we're below 0% and haven't been below zero since April 2020. So translation, blue collar is broke. Okay, research done. Thank you, Monster Beverage. And let's just check out their charts. I've never looked up Monster before. Partially because it tastes horrible. It's like to me, Monster tastes like a bad version of Mountain Dew. Okay. I guess this is Monster's charts. I'm new to this just as you are, down 10%. And where is it on where is it on the momentum line? For the last 90 days, it's been under the zero line for quite a bit. So folks weren't thrilled with it to begin with. And let's take a look under the hood. Is this actively traded as an options product? I really wonder. No, it looks like it's under 25,000 contracts. And that's a pretty sleepy day. And looks like, wow, extremely bullish for continued or forward-looking bearishness. And these are serious wagers on the downside. Holy cow. High delta shorts. Wow. Nothing in the cheap zone. No cheap seats. Wow, that's incredible. That means this is probably not retail shorting. These are whales shorting Monster Beverage. I don't, I love shorting things. I haven't seen this kind of skew of deltas quite like this. And seems like I'm correct. Yeah, these are whales making moves, not little guys. That's interesting. Okay, I think more research is warranted, but at a glance, it's hurting. It's hurting. Sell call spreads. All right. All right, we got to speed up. Okay. Scott Ritter, he's a patriot and a truth teller, and that's bad for staying alive and avoiding jail time. So this is really tragic. Well, we don't have time to get into it. Okay, let's look at other consumer sentiment news that is helpful for our trading purposes. All right, on verge of credit card shock, credit card debt posts biggest drop since COVID crash as rates hike record high. All right, so in June, total consumer credit rose to 8.9 billion, below the median estimate of 10 billion, a material drop from the upward revised May print of 13.9 billion. So yeah, consumers don't want to spend. Let's look at the table here or the chart here. Revolving credits, non-revolving credits. Okay. Let me make sure I understand the distinction here. Non-revolving credit is when you're, oh, this is the new debts. Revolving is once it's like the carried balances, I believe. Does anyone know for sure? I think I'm pretty right. Non-revolving is the new credit card debt when you swipe your card. And once it hits your balance and you don't pay it during the grace period, then it becomes revolving. Okay. So we're seeing a decrease in balances and the spike in new debt, as it were. Okay. Okay, yeah. So yeah, kind of a counterintuitive credit card update here. Okay. We talked about Disneyland. Let's see if there's anything interesting on the charts here. I forgot what this was. Disney shares have been stagnant for a while. Yeah, we talked about this last week. Disney's not having a good time. And Disney would fall under the go woke, go broke category. Let's look at the betting public before we go to the charts. And I misclicked. My apologies. Let's get back to DIS. And what is for lunch? Getting a little hungry. Let's see. Pretty bearish. Holy cow, 1.411. And again, high delta puts. Wow, that is rough. These are serious bears. They're not like me. Like these guys are rich. Wow. Let's see. Let's go to the charts itself. We want to look at the momentum flow. Look at that beautiful toilet swirl to oblivion. Negative 200 million shares. So much for a blue chip stock. Pension funds, mutual funds, folks are dumping Disney. Disney, you are gone. You're below the 200 and 500-day moving average. And you're forming a dead cat bounce below it. Wow. Talk about dragging an anchor straight to hell. Look at that. Look at that. Dead cat bounce. Look at that. Classic dead cat bounce pattern. And we call it dead cat because when a dead cat gets thrown off a building, in theory, it bounces off the ground below. Terrible, but it's a viable pattern for bearish traders. And the outflow momentum is increasing. It's not slowing down one bit. And look at this. Price action is trailing momentum flow perfectly. That is beautiful. That is really beautiful. Okay. So yeah, if you want to paper trade a Disney short, you can sell some call spreads here. All right. All right, thank you, Zero Hedge, for that. Let's take a look at, oh, this is interesting. Yeah, this is a little thing here. I know a fair chunk of us work from home, and there's some analytics that came out. I mean, this is not, I mean, it's not that you couldn't figure this out yourself, but there are some interesting insights here. Long story short, remote workers have problems, doing well in their careers because you're out of sight and out of mind. You'll get promoted less, you'll have less visibility into other things, and it's just harder. Well, I think this is legitimate and fair. What's not being said by this article is that, for middle management, which is insane, unaccountable, and commonly narcissistic, it's hard to be a bully at the workplace over Zoom. It just doesn't work or feel the same. Therefore, you want employees to be in front of you. Plus, you're already on the hook for leases and whatnot. And if you're an egocentric maniac like Elon Musk, you enforce return to office policies so you can look at, for management purposes. And also, like, we know Elon bangs his staff. So there you go. Do with that knowledge what you will. And this is common knowledge at Google, right? Engineers hired interesting product managers to wear many hats, as it were. Let's just leave it at that. This is a known thing, right? Okay, so yeah. All right. let's get to the parcel and package gain. And we've talked about this a lot, and this is a great barometer of the US business cycle. And to recap really quickly, FedEx has more planes. So it's best for shipping, like you want to, you need to get a contract signed physically in New York City, you're gonna FedEx that shit. But UPS has the most trucks. So if you want to move ground freight to, say, I don't know, Houston, and you need to ship like a couple pallets, UPS is the way to go. Or you find a freight forwarder that will find you, some gap inventory to leverage on the cheap. All right, cool. So that's a distinction between these two. But yes, this dual monopoly is kind of falling apart here. Yeah. So a lot of and then USPS, we talked about this a month ago or something. What did they change the rates or a contract? Oh no, was it UPS or FedEx? Sorry, FedEx or UPS has the USPS contract for parcels that is expiring or something. We talked about it a month ago. Does it mention it in this article? I read this a little too fast. I don't see a mention of it. Okay, you know what? Let's just go to the chart since we're a little bit short on time and we don't want to get lost among the weeds here. Okay, FedEx. Let's just look at FedEx for a second. FedEx. Okay. It is not having a great time at the moment, slightly off its recent rally, which is fairly normal, but there's lots of scary candlesticks. So let's take a look. These are dojis galore here. So yeah, and then yeah, we're seeing that here. Lots of dojis, a lot of uncertainty. So yeah, and then a bunch of outflows. Okay. So not great for long-term prospects. Let's look under the hood really quick as well, and we'll do the same for UPS and move on to the next topic. Yeah, pretty bearish here. High put call ratio. Now this looks like more normal retail shorts. They're cheaper. Okay. Let's go to UPS. UPS, come on. Come on. What can Brown do for you? All right, pretty bearish here. Also north of 1. Holy cow on a put call ratio. All right, this is a little bit different from FedEx. This is, again, rich bear shorts. Wow. That's crazy. I have not seen so many high delta shorts in ever. We talk about this all the time. We've never seen this kind of skew. That's incredible. Wow. Maybe this really is a market top. Man. So yes, what's momentum looking like? Uncertain and bearish. Yeah, it's all over the place, but overall bearish. And looking at the 1-year view on the top right, that's a clean like y equals -1/4 x line. It's perfect. It's following its trend lines very cleanly. That's interesting. Okay, so yeah, it's easy barometer for this. Yeah, it's kind of in trouble. And then I have a couple friends who actually have eBay stores. One guy sells cosmetics, another guy sells like paintball and shooting accessories. And both my homies are having hard times and high return rates and all kinds of shit. And they're panicking, as they should be. Okay. So that's the word on the street with shipping. We talked about Twitter. SF sucks. We know about that. Where are the nice places to live, though? Let's take a quick look. Oh my God, we got to speed up. It's already 12:18. Okay, rich suburbs include Scarsdale, New York, Rye, New York, West University Palace, Texas, Los Altos, California, Paradise Valley, Arizona, University Park, Texas, Hinsdale, Illinois, Great Falls, Virginia, Orinda, California. What the bloody hell? St. Mary's College right next door, and Leslie, Massachusetts. And here's typical home prices. Wow. And who's the big daddy of them all? Los Altos. There you go. And which one's the most affordable for the millennials and Gen Z? Hinsdale, Illinois. Oh, no, thank you. No, no, no way. You do not leave California to go to Illinois, which is even worse. Like, no, that is horrific. Okay, but yeah, all right, fun stuff. Next, real estate. There you go. And I still love this image. World right now. Realtors. Anyone want to buy a house? Good shit. Okay. Commercial real estate contagion. This is how all the banks get wiped out. All right, let's take a look. This is out of the UBS group, and this is a nice little case study. So let's see. This is concerning the Manhattan Midtown Sports Illustrated building that was bought for $1/3 billion in 2006. That's almost a million square foot. A million square feet in a building. It purchased the land under the million square foot building for $279 million. So that's what, 5, 6, a little over 600 mil. And then 7 years later, UBS sold the land for $285 for a loss. And then the building on top is now in trouble. So let's see. And then with construction completed and investments, holy cow. 408 went in and more renovations, blah, blah, blah. And then they sold the building for $8.5 million after investing hundreds of millions. Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty catastrophic. So $6 million gain on the land and $393 million loss on everything else. So overall, as an aggregate, that's a 43% loss. So a negative equity transaction, as it were. And this is only the beginning. So yeah. And then the MBA group says there's another $1.2 trillion worth of commercial real estate debt that will mature over the next 2 years. So will anyone be willing to, roll over the debt for no interest? I don't think so, but yeah, we are in trouble. Okay, good times there. So thanks, UBS Group. You're a colossal idiot. All right, shifting to more optimistic news in tech. Let's get started. Oh, pardon me, this is out of date. Let me get the latest screenshot for you. We gotta look at semiconductors. Oh, shit. Let me change to, sorry, let me grab the screenshot. Yahoo Finance is broken for me for some reason. Let's stick with the 1 year view. Okay. Or let's do the 5 year. Okay, there we go. Okay, this is the semiconductor index now. Okay, so kind of been choppy the last couple of weeks, but in fraud in the words of Flavius, let's see, we have support at 30. How many touch points? 1, 2. 2 moments of, well, I guess maybe 3. 1, 2, 3. And then this just blew past support. Oh, I guess you could count this little line. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 points of support. Okay, maybe 6. Okay, maybe 6. But yeah, looks like 30 is a definite line. And if it breaks 30, they're screwed. Okay, so we got to keep our eyeballs on this. All right. Well, that's the aggregate. Okay, let's look at fun stuff. This is not dystopian at all, but yes, facial recognition at all NFL stadiums. That terrifies me, and I'll just watch it on TV like everybody else. And I haven't watched football, so yeah. Thank you, NFL. You've sold us out to everybody. You guys suck. All right, let's talk the royal house of Saudi and what their stupidity is. So they thought buying Lucid was a good idea. I guess they just have too much money to spend. But yes, this is their public investment fund has decided to extend a $1.5 billion lifeline, second one of the year. So this violates Gresham's law clearly. So this is throwing good money after bad. So yeah, don't do that. But yes, sucks to be inbred. So what can I say? So here's shares of Lucid itself. That doesn't look bullish at all. Why would you throw more money there? You could just light $1.5 billion of money on fire and have more fun. But yeah, rich people problems, I guess. And what is this? Potential passive collaboration. Yeah, this is not happening. Dream on. Need to go back to the whiteboard. This is never happening. Tesla's functionally, a fake company that's gonna implode. No one's gonna work with China. Rivian's gonna be bankrupt. Fisker's already near bankrupt. Lucid's already on the way to be bankrupt. And the bigs hate the EV sector. They're only playing with it out of compliance and political necessity. And if Ford, Stellantis, and GM is going to be the linkage, good luck. This wheel will not roll. Okay. Thank you, Royal House of Saudi. All right, now we can talk NVIDIA for a second with their supply side shenanigans. Definitely has nothing to do with the recent share price, huh? Sure. But yes, they are going to delay this a bit. And the AI chip wars are fairly intense. If you guys recall, Intel reduced their prices as well on, let me see, which particular product line. We briefly mentioned this last week. What was it? It's in last week's notes somewhere. Okay, but anyway, yeah, let's just look a little bit deeper into this. So, oh, this is beautiful. This answers Joseph's question. NVIDIA's insider activity. They call this a clue. You know what? Research done. We're going to conclude the meeting right here. Everyone short NVIDIA. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, that's pretty serious. And then the greens are buys. Do you see any greens? The last green here was what, September 2023? Oh, no, sorry. March 2024. Okay. That's hilarious. I think the yellows are option exercises, if I recall correctly. Okay. But yeah. Yeah, NVIDIA's toast, guys. NVIDIA's toast. Let's go to the charts. And again, oh wait, we gotta look at the whatchamacallit, the equal weight SPX. I keep forgetting the ticker. Equal, here we go. RSP. So this is a fair way to look at the S&P without the Titanic-like market cap of NVIDIA skewing all of the overall results. So if every company goes equal, then market's been flat for a while. So yeah, we haven't really gone anywhere. Yeah. And this is measured in dollars, right? If we measured this in something else, oh boy, that curve will look even more extreme into the downside. Barrels of oil, bushels of corn, ounces of gold, pounds of copper, stuff like that. So yeah, pretty flat. All right, let's go back to NVIDIA on the big charts. And since we know Supermicro's not having a good time, NVIDIA also can't be having a good time. Oh, come on, Swab. What is NVIDIA at? I'm a little bit out of the loop. 104. Oh my gosh. It's never going to 150. All right, let's see. we are rapidly approaching the 200-day moving average. And oh my gosh, is it NVIDIA earnings season coming up? I don't know if I can handle it after last week. Like, I just emotionally can't. Let's see. When is this earnings season? Earning date 8/28, huh? We got 20 days to go. Oh my gosh. All right. Let's look at momentum. We are in sell-off territory. Oh no, everyone's AI darling and they're dumping it. Negative 642 million shares today. Wow. Even though it's up 5%, people are just getting out while the getting's good. That's incredible. So yeah, smart money is running for the hills. But then Nancy Pelosi went long, but that's a congressional filing, which does have a lag time. So maybe the Pelosi's finally had a losing trade. Hard to say. And let's look under the hood and get a better sense. And if we see expensive bears shorting things, we should be nervous. But we don't see that. It's a lot of retail shorts because this is a lot cheaper. But it is bearish. Look at that put call ratio, almost 0.8. Pretty hefty. So yeah, no dip to buy here. Okay, let's go back to our notes and speed up because we gotta shut down for earnings trades and all that good stuff. And Trader Talk used to be 1 hour. Now we're in 2.5 hour territory, and that sucks. Okay, German EV sales sink for 37% as subsidies end. I don't think I have to like look too deeply into this, and this is not as tradable as other things. So I'll just absorb and digest the headline. Chip wars will soon become data center wars as our next AI trade develops. So this could be fun, and we're seeing a lot of migration towards sort of the Appalachian East Coast area. And again, it's the power Langley. I can read between the lines here. So yeah. Yeah, I'll have to do more research for you guys here because this overlaps with data center REITs in a big way, Digital Realty, Equinix, and all their other competitors. So let me put this on my homework too to research data center war stuff and get back to you guys on the REIT market because I've also wanted to check that out again. Okay. I'll circle back. All right. No surprises here. Level 3 automation doesn't even work for Tesla. Why should we trust the Chinese commies with it? So blah, blah, blah. Let's pivot to the labor market really quick. Still 500,000 jobs, lost, blah, blah, blah. Stock surge on small drop in initial jobless claims, while continuing claims hits 33 months highs. And for the long-term unemployed, they're not even counted. So thank you to Biden's bullshit, U.S. Bureau of Labor, and Mutter trucking statistics. Next item, the important stuff, not the cocaine, but everything else that powers it. All right, on the international front, fundamental radicals shut down, or fundamentalist radical threats shut down Taylor Swift's Vienna concerts, which is unfortunate. And again, seeing Taylor Swift internationally is cheaper than seeing her locally. So in case you wanted to catch her, just go to Europe. Red heifer ritual, supposedly there's 6 red heifers from Texas, and they need to sacrifice it they need to sacrifice the cows so worshipers can be cleansed, and then they can begin actual construction with the third temple. We have some high temple lore even in the Masonic history, but I've never heard of a red heifer outside of South Park, so I'm a little confused. But yeah, this is happening. That's all I know.
Can't they just achieve the same effect with the McDonald's Happy Meal?
We don't have time to talk about this, but there are some really fun conspiracies with Ronald McDonald. We'll leave that for another time. Speaking of red heifers. Okay. Thanks, Michael. Yes, and meanwhile, more grifting and laundering of money, but this time by way of the World Bank, because the Bank of International Settlements and their friends needs their cut. So thank you very much. No surprises there, but yes, this was freaky as hell on the international side. There was a no-fly suggestion. Yes, that's right. Egypt announced this. But yes, they wanted folks to avoid Iranian airspace at a very odd 3-hour window in the early morning of Thursday. All Egyptian carriers shall avoid overflying Tehran. So yeah. That's wait, what time is it there right now? Tehran local. Oh, it's in like 5 hours. Oh my gosh. So yes, what do we do? I know what Wani's doing. She's looking for VIX calls right now. But yeah. They're calling this overnight military exercises, and all us smart cats can read between the lines. And a no-fly order from Egypt is very unusual. And you have to remember where Egypt fits in the global Sunni Shia time continuum. And Egypt is, I mean, Egypt has to play nice with the big, Wahhabi sects that surround it. So, they're saying something. They're saying something. And you would think Turkey or Egypt would be issuing things like this because they're by association more in conversations with NATO and the EU than the hardliners in a big way. So, if the moderate Muslims are warning you of radical Muslim activity, we should pay attention. Okay. Good to know. So yeah, risk on tonight. Don't carry SPX overnight tonight, unless it's a call spread or you're short call spreads. There you go. Okay. Monkeypox, again, still developing. I was more oriented towards chicken flu bullshit, but looks like they're gonna resurrect monkeypox stuff. So I'm keeping my eye out for you guys. And again, Zero Hedge is the only reason I never got vaccinated because Zero Hedge and commenters and myself, we were diving into this in July of 2019 when Wuhan's satellite imagery of hospitals, hospital parking lots got full and stayed full. And then cloud cover disappeared because they started burning bodies like there was no tomorrow. So yeah, I'll keep you guys posted. And I'm looking in all the conspiracy forums and 4chan shenanigans as well. So we'll see how that develops. But yes, radical fundamentalists with machetes in the UK, and that's always fun. But yeah, on more positive news, let's look at beer for a second, and we got to rush through this. Latin and Southern America and Southern Europe are beer hotspots. Hello, Oktoberfest, Bavarians, all the good stuff. But yeah, fun little global diagram there. Cool. Bangladesh, I mean, it's a shame that, the prime minister is the daughter of the former ruler, and like government shouldn't really be hereditary in this day and age, but it's odd that this backwater third world nation Pakistan wannabe is. But anyway, things have failed, and she ran away with a fair chunk of money, and where she landed, we're not sure, but it is mayhem and chaos. And it is ethnic cleansing against the Hindus. And ethnic cleansing is a very, very polite way to put it. Okay, we talked about the UK already. North Korea is making moves. Oh yeah, the reason I want to talk about the beer thing is eventually when I retire from trading, like I want to do fun stuff. And one of them is like, I want to import North Korean beer to the world. That's crazy. They gotta be insane to even think about that. And I would do that. Like, the only way to bring peace to North Korea is with commerce. And the only product, I thought about this hard, like the only product that people would be interested in purchasing from North Korea is probably their beer. So it's the most straightforward item. And I looked up wholesalers and brokers, and I might have to take a duffel bag full of cash to Russia and or worse, Eastern China, and figure out how to do logistics. So Warren's fried chicken, retail fantasies are in full effect. Okay. Shifting to the oil markets, a tanker hit off of Bali, and it's still developing, but this is going to be an ecological disaster of unimaginable proportions. Meanwhile, the Royal House of Saudi thinks demand will increase, and I would love to get the feedback from our oil experts. Dave, can you comment on Saudi Aramco and potential spikes and increase of next year? Any feedback here?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know why prices are here if they're going to raise volumes. Everything I saw was China was lagging on their expected out or inputs.
And that's the correct answer. I don't know. So yeah. And if anyone points a gun to your head and asks you if you are a good person, that is also the correct answer. I don't know. All right. We got to speed up a little bit. Let's talk about gold, silver really quick. Gold silver ratio is a little bit high, which means silver is cheap. Come on, come on. Here we go. All right. So we are, oh my God, it peaked at 90? How did I miss that? Oh, on my birthday it was 90. You're welcome. All right. That's hilarious. Man, I should have went to the gold shop yesterday. What the hell was I doing? Okay, I didn't see that. Okay. But yes, today gold is 24.22. Silver is a very depressing 27.42. Platinum is a stagnant 938, and palladium has dropped down a little bit to 925. Okay. All right. And we talked about Kentucky earlier in our preview. It's a shame because that's a libertarian stronghold. Like, what the hell? Ron Paul, wake up your district. Okay. And then let's talk Chinese and gold, my other favorite topics. All right. Traffic stop gone wrong. This mofo had to use Google Translate to talk to the cops. All right. Let's just recap really quick. How to handle a traffic stop. Okay. How do I explain this cleanly? Is my camera off here? I'll turn it on. Okay. Okay. Okay, we're gonna skip the sovereign citizen bullshit stuff. That may or may not work in certain counties. Let's focus on universal best practices. Have your registration and insurance paperwork at the ready. If possible, don't keep it in the glove box. Keep it stacked elsewhere, and keep it in have the stuff organized. Don't have like a flimsy sheet of paper that's wrinkled and whatever. Keep it in like a sheet protector or a booklet or something. It just looks more professional, and the cops give you a better time. And do not self-incriminate. Rule of thumb, shut the fuck up. Just comply, roll down your window, turn on your lights. Cops get scared that you might shoot them. So that's why I roll down all the windows, I turn on the lights, you keep your hands on the steering wheel, and you just fully comply, because getting shot at a traffic stop is only for idiots. Again, he'll ask you, do you know what you did? I don't know. Do not self-incriminate. And then they'll ask you more questions. Decline. Just be like, sir, I do not consent to any searches or seizures, and I will not answer any questions without my attorney present. And say it politely and calmly. And then he'll say something or ask more questions. You don't answer. Your next follow-up question is, sir or officer, am I being detained or am I free to go? If you don't want to use a detained word, just say, sir, or you can just ask, am I free to go? And if he says it, he has to answer. If he either cuffs go on and you're getting arrested, or he has to let you go. And there's rules of engagement on his side for reasonable doubt and blah, blah, blah. And not reasonable doubt. Does he have cause to search and blah blah blah? Just don't comply. And allowing a search and seizure is another form of self-incrimination. And if they find cash or gold on your person or in your vehicle, they will seize that and you will not get it back. This is what's called civil asset seizure forfeiture, blah blah blah. Okay, but yeah, back to the story. They got pulled over. They didn't know what the hell we're doing. They obviously didn't know the best practice concept I just explained. They complied, allowed the search. And behind the driver's seat was, this wasn't even a lot of gold. But yeah, it's about 200 grand worth of gold in various forms. The biggest thing was just a 10-ounce bar. So I mean, like, this is peanuts here, relatively speaking. But yeah, they're both in jail and held for bond. Like, complicated. And again, or was this Dallas, right? Yeah, Dallas. Dallas and Houston has had Chinese consulate issues. There was like the car that ran into it. One of them was burning documents. We talked about this like 2-3 years ago. We don't have time to get into it, but there are problems here. And Chinese nationals and sleeper units. We'll talk about this at a future juncture, but yeah, just be careful, guys. And again, do not consent, do not comply, and ultimately ask the Rubicon question. Sir, am I being detained or am I free to go? And he has to be, you put him to a decision. It's just like poker. I put you to a decision, all in for your chips. And I want to watch you panic and try to compute numbers and calculations in your head. Okay. All right. All right, let's fast forward. Finally, to China news. All right. Shanghai stock market in free fall. Oh, not really, but it's in trouble. And again, the key psychological watermark is 3,000, and 3,000 was several weeks ago. So China is in trouble. And again, most of the real estate, I'm sorry, most of the domestic wealth again is tied up in real estate, and stocks are an afterthought for most folks because even the Chinese know that it's all insider trading. And after my time in Macau and watching Stanley Ho stock and standing in Stanley Ho's hotels and casinos and watching people hustle that, like, let me tell you, it is all insider trading. And if you're in the know, you have access to the books. You don't have to wait for earnings. So I saw that firsthand. Okay. But yeah, let's fast forward. There's industrial problems in China. And if you go below in the value chain to raw industrial inputs, that's when you know that your manufacturing base is in trouble. And this article talks about that. We don't have time to get into it, but that's a long story, or short story long, or long story short. The chip war might be revving up. Section 421 for national security purposes might be used to further restrict trade in chips and whatnot, but we'll see how this develops. But again, yeah, you can't fight a digital war without smart rocks that can think in ones and zeros really, really fast. So yeah, China's painted itself into a corner with that. And then Xi Jinping turns to the old, I guess, Mongolian emperor playbook of mass isolationist policies. And this is going to end in disaster. And he's trying to save face because the FDI inflows have disappeared. It's all outflows. Every foreigner is just abandoning China. They're like, Honda's pulling out. They're shutting down 2 plants there right now. It's just a disaster. And again, Japan's financing the relocation of a lot of these industrial sites back onto Japanese soil and to other fellow U.S. vassal states. So yeah, it's complicated. And again, China is a paper tiger that's on fire. There's no way this is coming back. And mass graves and famines are right around the corner. Like, it's going to be horrific. So yeah, that's it, guys. Let's close off with our final S&P 500 poll and give you back your last 13 minutes of the trading day. My apologies for the density of the week, but last week was crazy. It was not only the summer blockbuster, of the season, but Bank of Japan. Holy shit. That's how you cap off the week of the biggest earnings week of the summer. It's insane. So yeah, please vote on your screen for your prediction for our next forecast into Thursday. And yeah, let me stop the recording right here.